guys, we are back in Sri Lanka and we are so excited to be revisiting this beautiful country so soon.
We're currently in Galle, which is on the southwestern coast of Sri Lanka and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Today we're going to be exploring Galle Fort and taking you around the area, showing you what there is to see and more importantly how much it's going to cost if you're planning a visit to Galle.
But before we do, let's recap the last few days since we arrived in Sri Lanka.
To get here, we took a flight from Kuala Lumpur to Colombo.
We spent our first night in Colombo and stayed next to Maridana train station. So after a good sleep, the next morning we walked to the station to buy train tickets for the coastal train to Marissa. We chose Maridana station as it was a stop before Galle Fort, so we were hoping we'd get a seat on the train. Despite the tactical efforts though, in all honesty, it didn't pay off and we ended up standing for 3 hours. The only benefit though was the beautiful scenery that we saw along the way. The total journey took 4 hours and 10 minutes from Colombo to Marissa, and to be quite honest, without aircon, it was pretty tough at times.
We spent 3 days in Marissa, but sadly for 2 of these, John was in bed poorly, which meant that we haven't been able to do as much or film our experience in Marissa this time round. What we have learned though is that although Marissa hasn't changed visually since we were last here 11 months ago, what has changed are the prices, which have increased by around 50%. On a grand scale, the increase won't affect the average tourist, but for backpackers it is still a budget destination, but you'll just find that money doesn't go as far as it once did.
This morning we travelled by tuk-tuk from Marissa to Galle, which cost 4,000 and it took around an hour.
We then checked into our accommodation here at Galle Fort and we'll be spending 1 night here, which cost a very reasonable £14 a night.
So now that you're up to speed, let's go explore Galle Fort.
Okay, so importantly, first things first, we are on the hunt for food. Now, there's a lot of choice, so finding somewhere is going to be quite difficult. So we've had a little scout on Google and looking at Google reviews. We've narrowed it down to a few that are highly rated, although most of them on a whole seem to be quite upmarket and kind of bougie kind of restaurants, don't they? Which are probably going to come with a bit of a higher price tag. We've just stopped outside what we think must be a school and we can just hear kids belting out Christmas carols.
It's well Silent Night they're singing at the minute, which I mean it is March, but you know, fair play to them, they've got some really good voices.
After enjoying the live performance, we then spent some time watching the locals play cricket before continuing our search for food. We decided to eat at Sugar Bistro. Although it was a modern restaurant, we did find the prices here seemed cheaper in comparison to other restaurants. Overall, the downside about Galle though is that the restaurants are mainly catered for the tourists, so finding local home-cooked Sri Lankan food didn't really seem to be an option. Because of this, we went for 2 burgers here, which were okay. Along with 3 bottles of water and a service charge, the bill came to a grand total of 4,590 rupees. So we're just having a walk now along the fort area. In all honesty, there's not an awful lot to do here in this area.
Well, if you come here, the main attractions are the lighthouse, which is beautiful. I think it was built in 1938, and also the clock tower as well, which again is very nice to see. However, it does seem very, very highly priced here compared to if you probably go outside into Galle itself. So for example, a main meal here is going to cost you around 2,000 standard, plus a 10% service charge, 3% government tax, and also beer for a 330ml is going to be about 700, 750, compared to Marissa where we're paying 800, 850 for a large bottle of beer. It's crazy.
Now, come on Sri Lankans, how many of you have been to Galle Fort and not paid to watch the cricket? Let us know in the comments.
Once you've walked around the fort, the only thing left to do is explore the maze of streets. There's a variety of shops to pass on a few hours, along with an art gallery, if that's something that you're into. Once you've done all that, you'll definitely be ready for a drink. So we decided to pop into a place called Bastille Restaurant, and you know what? It's one of the cheapest beers that I've actually seen. For a large can, it was 800 here, whereas the rest seem to be charging 700 for a 330ml.
Crazy. I got a mojito, and I must say it's actually the best mojito that I've had on the whole trip so far. It was 1,300. There were no happy hours, but it was well worth the money, and it's the cheapest cocktail that we've seen here in Galle as well. So now I think we're gonna go get some ice cream. Okay, so I've just got some ice cream from Peddlers Inn Gelato. So for one scoop, it was 600 rupees. So I've gone for chocolate, obviously, because I love chocolate. A naughty treat.
Right guys, that's all we've got time for in this one, and I'm really sorry that it's been a bit short, but there's not much really to do in Galle Fort. That's why we'd recommend one night here, just so you can see the lighthouse and what the fort has to offer.
So now we are all packed up and ready to head further up the coast to Bentota. As always guys, thank you very much for watching, and make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode of Parked Travel Guide.
Take care, we'll see you next time.